California Pacific Medical Center, we are committed to providing world-renowned healthcare with a personal touch. CPMC is the hospital of choice for parents of more than 6,000 babies born in San Francisco each year. Children are one of our top priorities. And in 2008, a new pediatric emergency department opened at our California campus, the first of its kind in San Francisco, and solely dedicated to children ages birth to 18. Any parent who's needed to take their child to the emergency room knows what a frightening experience it can be, both for them and their child. On May 24, 2011, Christine and Andrew Hutchcraft, who live in the Sacramento area, experienced firsthand what this feels like.
The evening of May 24th, I was in the hospital with one of our older kids. She was having some breathing issues, and we had a relative taking care of the other children. And she had decided to stop and feed them at a restaurant on the way home, and had told the kids to go wash their hands. And on the way into the bathroom, Angie had been trying to open the door, and the door was extremely heavy and had started coming back at her. And her index finger was caught in the door jamb.
We were coming out from the bathroom. My finger got squashed. Addie's finger was on her finger was in the door, and I pushed her out of the way, and instead my finger got squashed on accident.
When I arrived at the emergency room, she was in the triage area, and she was very calm and wasn't really crying, and had her finger wrapped up, and just looked at me and said, "Mommy, you don't want to look. Mommy, it's bad. You don't want to look." I asked the nurse what had happened, and he had said that she had severed the tip of her finger. Immediately I said, "Well, can you call a plastic surgeon?" And he said, "No, it cannot be reattached." He said it's not, if it was the entire finger, they would try to reattach it, but because it was just a portion of it, that they would not reattach it. I asked if she would have any nail left, and he said no, that the nail bed had been severed. I asked if someplace else could do it. They said no. He had told us that nobody is perfect, and that she would just have to adjust. I wasn't willing to accept that. I needed to know I had done everything in my power to make sure that she had, the best care possible. We're from San Francisco. Angelina was actually born at California Pacific Medical Center. We had always been thrilled with her care there, and I knew that the hospital had microsurgeons. I felt confident that this could be done. I didn't understand why they were telling me it couldn't be done and why nobody in Sacramento could do it. So we called, and they were willing to at least try, and that's what we wanted. We wanted to at least try. If it didn't work, it didn't work.
I was actually notified by the emergency department that there was a parent that wanted a second opinion about an injury, and it was a hand injury, injury to a finger, and the question was whether or not it made sense to just leave an amputated part off, or whether or not there was a chance that it could be put back on. And in discussion with the emergency room doctor, it seemed to me that it was an injury that could be dealt with using the amputated part. So we accepted a transfer from the other hospital in order to look at it and see whether or not that was an option.
I threw Angie in the car. I threw our youngest, our baby, in the car, and left Andrew up here with the other kids.
The Pediatric Emergency Department at CPMC's California campus is designed specifically for children. It has child-sized equipment and private rooms. Physicians who specialize and are board certified in both pediatrics and emergency medicine, as well as a child life staff who help children cope with medical emergencies. All this makes the difference when dealing with a crisis.
When they finally arrived, she did in fact have the tip of her finger amputated, and I looked at it and I remembered thinking, wow, I think any of the other hospitals I worked at would have probably said the same thing that the hospital said. So I wasn't surprised. It was like, wow, they're actually going to try to put this back on. I've seen a lot of procedures done in my nursing career, and I was just highly impressed with her technique.
They were really wonderful and gave us food. They knew we hadn't eaten.
At Starbucks waiting and everything.
And, you know, gave me some warm blankets for the baby and a place to nurse her. And I was able to be there with Angie when they put her, you know, under the anesthesia. It was about probably about 2 hours, and it just looked, it was amazing. They put it on and it looked the same. It was incredible.
Almost more important for the pediatric population, after you do the anatomic alignment of the part, is to have safe dressing for them, because they're so active. And for the children, usually I'll put them in a bulky wrap where the whole hand is just wrapped up so they don't even have access to their thumb. Even if it's a single finger injury, they almost inevitably come out of them.
It was very exciting when I heard that it had actually worked and that her finger was basically back to normal and she was doing really well. It kind of gave me chills, and I felt like what an awesome job we had been able to provide for her.
I've actually told people, if my kids get sick again, and I know that the ERs are busy up here, I'll take the hour and a half or 2 hours and just drive to San Francisco to take them in to that emergency room. Just because of the environment, the personal care that we received, just how caring they were.
At CPMC, our doctors, nurses, and other caregivers go all out to provide the same kind of excellent, compassionate care they'd want for their own families. As a not-for-profit medical center, CPMC relies on philanthropic support in order to hire the most qualified individuals, research the most up-to-date treatments, and practice the most innovative medicine. Grateful patients and loyal donors like you are helping us do just that. On behalf of the Hutchcraft family and all the patients who directly benefit from your support, thank you.